Google's Pixel smartphones have long hovered in the background of the competitive smartphone market, often praised for their innovation, but rarely breaking into the mainstream in a significant way. However, recent data from StatCounter suggests that might be changing, and in a big way. According to their October 2024 report, Google's Pixel has reportedly achieved an almost unprecedented feat, tripling its market share in North America in a single month. The numbers are jaw-dropping, climbing from 4.76% in September to an astonishing 12.9% in October. That's enough to leapfrog Motorola and secure over half of Samsung's market share. But as with any story that seems almost too good to be true, the data invites scrutiny. Could this meteoric rise really be happening, or is there more to the story? First, let's consider the sheer magnitude of this shift. To put it in perspective, the Pixel brand has historically struggled to gain a foothold in a market dominated by Apple and Samsung. Despite offering some of the best software experiences and innovative features like AI-driven photography, Pixel devices were often seen as niche products. They appealed to tech enthusiasts who appreciated Google's clean Android experience and cutting-edge features but were largely ignored by the mainstream consumer. For years, Pixel hovered around a modest 3–5% market share in North America, a respectable but far cry from the double-digit dominance enjoyed by its bigger rivals. Now, according to StatCounter, Google has not only broken through that ceiling but has skyrocketed to nearly 13%, a figure that, if accurate, places it squarely in the conversation as a serious competitor. What makes this data even more compelling is that Google appears to have achieved this growth at the expense of its competitors. Apple, the perennial market leader, reportedly saw its share drop by 4% during the same period, a significant decline for a company that typically enjoys unwavering customer loyalty. Meanwhile, other players like Motorola, Xiaomi, and OnePlus also lost ground, albeit more modestly. Even Samsung, which managed a slight gain of around 0.25%, was not immune to the shifting tides. For Google to not only grow but to siphon market share from some of the most established names in the industry in such a short span is nothing short of remarkable. But is it believable? StatCounter's methodology relies on tracking code embedded across 1.5 million websites globally, collecting data on the devices that visit these sites. This approach offers a broad sample but isn't a direct measure of sales or device ownership. It captures web traffic data, meaning it could reflect usage trends more than actual sales numbers. There's always a margin for error in sampled data, and while a dataset this large is likely to offer a reasonable reflection of reality, the dramatic nature of the Pixel's reported surge raises eyebrows. Could this be a case of misinterpretation, or is it genuinely capturing a pivotal moment for Google's smartphone ambitions? Let's not forget that Google itself has been relatively tight-lipped about specifics. In its latest earnings call, the company acknowledged strong demand for the Pixel 9 but stopped short of providing regional breakdowns. This aligns with a report from last month that indicated Google achieved its highest ever quarterly sales in Q3, which ended just before the data collection period for StatCounter's October report. While these pieces of evidence lend some credence to the idea of a Pixel boom, the absence of concrete figures leaves room for skepticism. Assuming the growth is real, even if slightly exaggerated, what's driving it? The Pixel 9 seems to be a significant factor. Google has steadily refined its hardware over the years, and the Pixel 9 is perhaps its most polished product yet. It offers standout features like advanced AI capabilities, a best-in-class camera system, and seamless integration with Google's software ecosystem. Moreover, Google appears to be capitalizing on a more aggressive marketing and distribution strategy. The Pixel 9 launch was accompanied by high-profile ad campaigns, strategic carrier partnerships, and competitive pricing, all of which likely contributed to its growing appeal. There's also the broader context of the smartphone market to consider. Consumer fatigue with the status quo might be playing a role. Apple and Samsung have long dominated, but their incremental updates can sometimes feel underwhelming. Enter the Pixel, offering a fresh perspective and innovative features that stand out in a crowded market. For some consumers, the Pixel 9 might represent a chance to try something new without straying too far from the familiar comforts of a well-integrated ecosystem. However, it's crucial to temper enthusiasm with a dose of reality. Explosive growth like this, if true, raises questions about sustainability. Can Google maintain this momentum, or is this a temporary spike driven by the novelty of the Pixel 9? Promotional offers, pent-up demand, or even seasonal factors could have inflated October's numbers. Sustaining double-digit market share will require consistent innovation, robust support, and perhaps most importantly, continued investment in marketing and distribution. The competition isn't going to stand still, and Google will need to work hard to keep its newfound customers. There's also the matter of perception. For years, the Pixel was seen as a side project and experiment in hardware to showcase Google's software capabilities. That perception is starting to shift, but it's a slow process. For the Pixel to become a true contender, Google will need to convince not just tech enthusiasts, but the broader public that its devices are a viable alternative to the iPhone and Galaxy lines. This means tackling everything from brand recognition to customer support, and even retail presence. Then there's the elephant in the room, Apple. Losing 4% market share in a single month is no small matter, but it's unlikely that Apple will sit idly by. The Cupertino giant has weathered market challenges before and has a loyal customer base that's proven remarkably resilient. It's possible that this dip is a blip rather than a trend, and Apple could easily bounce back with its next product cycle. For Google, the challenge will be to hold on to its gains even as its competitors regroup and refocus. In the end, whether the Pixel's reported growth is entirely accurate or slightly overstated, the takeaway is clear: Google is finally starting to make waves in the North American smartphone market. It's a pivotal moment for the company, one that could define the future trajectory of its hardware business. For consumers, it's an exciting development. More competition means more choices, and that can only be a good thing. As we watch this story unfold, one thing is certain: the Pixel is no longer content to be a niche player. It's aiming for the big leagues, and it might just have what it takes to get there.